We grind in the trenches, yeah, we put in the work. From the 50-yard line to the stain on the shirt. It ain't just a game, it's the lessons we teach. Practicing what we play and what we preach. It's the X's and O's and watching them grow. The playbook for life that you need to know. Where the gridiron grit meets the family time. We lace them up tight and lead from the line. Where fatherhood meets football. I got you. You got me. We got it. Here is your host, Coach Mac. Got you. You got me. We got us. Here is your host, Coach Mac. Coach Mac. Coach Mac. Here is your host, Coach Mac. Coach Mac.
Yo, welcome back to Lead from the Line. I'm Coach Mac. I'm going to start this episode out with a question. When you hear mental toughness, what do you picture? Is it a kid who never cries? Is it a kid who never feels? Is it a kid who never shows emotion? And I don't picture any of those. For me, I picture a kid who feels everything and still knows how to go forward. To me, that's what mental toughness is. So today's episode is called Building Mental Toughness the Right Way without breaking your kid to get there. And I think that's the key words right there, right? Building it the right way without breaking your kid in the process. Because it does no good if you're trying to instill and build up mental toughness, but you break your child and they never accomplish the goal of being mentally tough. And so I think that doing it the right way is huge, and kind of we're going to get into that. So I think the old school way of building mental toughness broke children. I'm just going to be upfront and honest. The yelling, the belittling, the, hey, you need to man up, being mocked for crying, being punished for emotions. Me personally, I don't think you can do it that way anymore. I think with today's kids, there's a different approach in order to build mental toughness the right way, as we're going to talk about in this episode. And I want you to think about any situations, right? Whether growing up as a child or on the teams that you were a part of, right? Come and go with me for a second. Do you ever remember getting yelled at? Do you ever remember being belittled for something you did or mocked at something you did? Those kind of things have a lasting memory. So now fast forward, your kids. Can you remember your kids being on a team where the coaches yelled and screamed? Now hear me out. Yelling and screaming, getting excited, having your emotions, it's tough. It really, really is tough. I understand that. I've been in this situation. I've coached games where I've let my emotions get the best of me. Luckily, it wasn't anything crazy, but you got to think about that, right? Screaming at a child, does it truly, truly benefit them? And so kind of what I've learned as I've went about is we've talked about in these episodes, is tone, right? Your tone is everything. You can get the same effect whether you keep your voice at a level like this or you scream. Hear me out. You can get the same effect. You may get effort. You may get that child to make the play or do their assignment the right way by yelling at them. But you can get the same effect by keeping your tone. But where it differs is keeping your tone here while you're speaking to that child. You're going to get that effort out of them, but you're also going to build that child up in the process. So yelling at the child, yeah, they're going to go make the play, but it's out of fear, as we stated in the previous episode. They're trying not to let you down. So they may go make that play, but in the back of their mind, they're like, dang, coach yelled at me. Dang, my mom yelled at me to do this at the house. Dang, my dad yelled at me to go carry the trash out. So tone. That is going to be something we talk about in every single episode. Tone is everything. Calm, no matter what the situation looks like. And, you ever had that kid who was belittled? Man, you couldn't make this play. You couldn't do this. But so-and-so can do it. He can make this play. Who does that benefit? We are called to build up our children, build up our players so that when they grow up, they know how to handle these situations. And this one kills me. Man up. Why in the world will we tell a child to man up? A child who hasn't even accomplished certain things in life and doesn't even know how to man up. So what you're doing in that situation when you're telling a child to man up is you're forcing that child to grow into areas that they don't even know anything about. And so you've got to be real cautious on the words you use when you're talking to these children, right? You can build mental toughness by yelling and screaming. Trust me, I bet you can. I'm not going to say it can't be done, but you can also build it by being calm and letting your kid know that you believe in them, that you're proud of them. I think that's something in every episode too, that if there's a theme is it's all about doing everything the right way. There's multiple ways to accomplish stuff, right? We can go out and, make a design, and the end point of the design is the same for everybody, but your process may be different than my process of getting there. So yeah, you can get there multiple different ways. Which way is the right way? Which way is the way that's going to have lasting benefits for that child that they carry on into adulthood? I think that's something that we really got to highlight too, is we're not just trying to build these children now. We're trying to build and prepare these children for the future. And I think if we plan that and we do that the right way, it's going to benefit us. And I will say some of that old school teaching, that's kind of some of the way I was raised up. Some of us, we turned out tough, right? We did grow up. We did understand mental toughness, but I still think that was something that as we get older and we see other things, we're like, dang, I would have rather got mental toughness that way instead of being yelled at and belittled and mocked for things I was doing, But a lot of us who got that tough love, so to speak, we turned out we're numb. We're numb to certain situations. We're angry. We shut down at chaos. And then we're disconnected, right? Us guys in general, we don't speak on our feelings. I think it's baloney. I don't know where it started, but we don't share when something's wrong. And I think it's that fear of, maybe growing up, you shared something that was wrong and you got mocked and you got belittled and you got told to man up. And so how do we stop that now so that when our children get to those situations, boys or girls, and they're able to talk about their feelings, they're able to talk about, hey, this didn't go right, or hey, here's what's going on at school. And then when they get older, here's what's going on at my job. And I think everything we do is building, right? I picture Legos, right? And everybody can remember you get the big green base, and that's the base for where you build your Lego house. And so everything we're doing in these episodes is building those children up. You start with that base, which is that firm foundation, and then you slowly build and build and build in order to get your kids where they need to go. As I'm talking about getting your kids to where they need to go, my little one is standing outside the door in the cat toy. So as I'm working on building him into what he needs to be, he's going to be a kid. And that's a perfect example of that. He's going to act silly. He's going to do silly things. And I think that's just what our kids are, And so that's something we'll get to on a later episode as well, is just you let these kids be their kids, right? You let these kids be kids. So, and just the main thing is too, is you've by yelling and screaming and trying to get your points across, like you put in, that's not toughness, right? It's almost like you're putting armor on these kids, but eventually they're going to run into situations where that armor falls off, right? That chest plate's not connected properly. It's going to fall off, and that child's just gonna not know how to handle them, right? I think if you build them up the right way and you do everything the right way, you future-proof them for any situation. And so, the main thing is, right, when we build these tough kids and we put this stuff to block out hate, whatever it is we say these days, block out the haters, do all this, like we put this armor on these kids that, yes, it keeps them safe, but they're closed off to love. They've only known this toughness, this tough love, this rah, this yell at you, you did this wrong, to then that they're numb to real love and the people that truly care about them, trying to love on them, right? And that's what we don't want to do. We want to teach our children to love hard, and like be proud and love out loud and stand up for the things that you believe in. And so, I mean, in this situation, if we're not careful, we'll raise kids who they can take a hit, right? They can perform with the toughest there is on any sporting event you put them into, right? They can handle it, but they don't let people get close to them. And we develop that at an early age. And then when these kids become adults, they're mad. They're mad at the world. They're mad at everything. And then they just question everything that they've ever, experienced. And again, right way. There's a right way. There's a right way to build these kids up that's going to help them out, right? And then so as we jump into the next part, what real mental toughness looks like. So real mental toughness in your son looks like, hey, I'm scared, Dad. Your child being able to let you know, hey, Dad, I'm scared. I'm scared of this. I'm scared of that. We were riding bikes the other day or walking. We were doing something, and maybe we were driving in the car. I can't remember exactly. And my 9-year-old said, Dad, what are you afraid of? I think we were walking into the mall after Christmas. He said, Dad, what are you afraid of? And I had to pause for a minute. And I guess the only thing that came to my mind said, I'm afraid of snakes. Because I don't really think I have any other fears in that situation. But if a big old snake were to come crawling in my room right now, I don't know how I'd react to that situation. And then one of my 9-year-olds said he's afraid of heights. And, that's just kind of things like, hey, you can admit that. My 11-year-old doesn't like thunderstorms. And those kind of conversations are good. Find out what your kids fear. A big one is owning when he's messed up. Accountability, right? Hey, Dad, I didn't handle this situation right. Dad, I didn't do this right at school. Dad, I didn't do this right on the practice field. Dad, I didn't do this right at home. Dad, Mom asked me to do something. I didn't do it right. Teaching that accountability at an early age is huge. That's something that I don't play about, along with respect. Hey, it's okay to mess up. We're going to do things that we shouldn't do. We're going to mess up in times, right? Be accountable for it. Nobody's perfect. And I always tell my kids, look, you're going to make mistakes. I just hope and I just pray that you don't make a mistake that I can't get you out of. Have you ever had that conversation with your kid? Hey, you're going to make a mistake. Please don't make a mistake that's out of my hands that I can't do nothing for you. And you know what? Maybe that's my biggest fear, is that my kids get in a situation that, one, they know they shouldn't be in, but 2, they're there. And then 3, the outcome of that situation is something that I can't control. And maybe that is my biggest fear, I think another thing you teach your kids is to try again. Like, if you don't do something the first time, it's okay. Remember the old song, dust yourself off and try again. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's okay. Nobody accomplishes everything on the first try. And if they do, in my opinion, they're an anomaly. They're a gift. They're the greatest ever, right? If you can do everything the very first time, you're just special. There's no other way around it. But it's okay to fail. It's okay to mess up. How do you handle that situation? Dust yourself off and try again. Here's another one. How do you stay calm, right, when other people are losing it? This is a good one, right? Say your kid's playing a sport and everybody's going crazy. The coaches, his teammates. How do you keep your kid to be like calm under pressure, right? Never get too high, never get too low. Just stay right here. How do you teach that when everybody else is losing it? Maybe that one person being calm, keeping their tone the way it needs to be, can change the entire situation. Like, that one's a hard one. This one as well, we're talking sports or at home, is listening to correction without collapsing. Just because somebody corrects you, it's not the end of the world. Oh, he said I couldn't do this. She said I couldn't do this. I needed to do it this way. Listen, the way I look at this is there are people who have far more experience than me. We go down the line. I have far more experience than my kids. We go down the line. My 11-year-old has more experience than my 9-year-old. We can go down the line. And so in certain situations, somebody may be able to help you in an area where they have more experience than you. And so you don't got to collapse. You take that correction and you apply it and go from there. And I think that all goes hand in hand, right? You apply that correction, that helps you in a situation where maybe you failed in the past. See what I'm saying? Everything domino effects, and it's like that ball rolling down the hill. It just all attaches together, and it just one of those things where you got to just trust when someone's correcting you, they're doing it to benefit you, right? And again, we can talk, it's maybe not always, maybe some of the correction is wrong. Again, we always talk about the right way. Maybe it's wrong, but we still have to approach that the right way. And to me, toughness is not an absence of emotion. Being tough doesn't mean I'm hard as a rock. I have no emotions. I don't feel anything. I can't laugh. I have no sense of humor. That's not what it is. That's not what it is at all. But it's the ability to feel those big emotions, but not be controlled by them, right? I'm angry. I didn't like how that went, but I'm going to remain calm. And I'm sad. I failed, but I'm going to pick myself up and I'm going to do it again. I think that's the difference when we talk toughness. Hey, I feel every single big emotion, but that emotion is not going to control me. And I think if you can master that as a kid, as an adult, you can control your emotions in every single situation. That's tough right there. When you're that person that walks into a room, even when somebody wrongs you, even when things aren't going your way, and you can just remain the same, unbothered, that's a tough individual right there. And that's what, my goal is to make sure that my children are that way, and that I'm that way. And that my wife's that way, that she knows, like, hey, I can handle any situation I'm put in as well. Just because we're adults doesn't mean we stop learning, right? It doesn't stop, I graduated high school, I graduated college, got my degrees, I got my master's degrees, I'm done. I'm never going to learn anything else again. False. Always be learning. There's so much more that we can learn every single day. So then as we go into the next part, I want you to go with me for a second, right? Your son just made a big mistake. Okay, we're talking in terms of sports, man. Your son just dropped the game-winning pass. Okay, your son just missed the assignment that allowed the other team to score. All right, so you got those two things in your head: drop the game-winning pass, or blew an assignment on defense that allowed a score. Okay, your son jogs over to the sideline. You can already tell. You can see the look in your son's face, those glassy eyes. That, hey, I'm not okay, but I'm trying to be okay. Look, have you ever seen that? Like where your kids are like, hey, I messed up. I don't want to look at my dad. I don't want to look at my mom, but they're still trying to be okay. This right here is a moment where you can build mental toughness the right way, or you can break that mental toughness quickly. So when your son, or we can say, with daughter as well, right? We're not just talking about boys here. This is a podcast talking about everything. You can yell at your kid. You can roll your eyes. You can turn your back. You can shame or belittle your kid right then and there. How are you going to drop that pass? How are you going to blow that assignment? You're terrible. I'm not even speaking to you. And walk off. You can do every single one of those things in that situation. Here's one thing I want you to think about as well. I want you to go ahead and consider this. Your child already knows. Your child already knows they messed up. Your child already knows they dropped the game winner. Why? Because they lived through it. They just encountered that moment. Your child knows they didn't do the assignment correctly on defense that led to the score. Your child knows that. So what benefit do you have in that moment to tear them down? As we've talked in the past, when your kid is playing the game, all the coaching is done. There's nothing you're going to say on game day other than a little minor correction. There's nothing you're going to say that's going to benefit them. Your child's not going to go from running a 4.640 to a 4.340 overnight, right? You're not going to change those certain things. Your son's not going to be able to catch the football better overnight. And so in that situation, when your kid has gone through that, you can grab your son's face mask, look him in the eyes and say, look at me. You're okay. That play is over. We talk next play mentality all the time. So I need you to put that play behind you. You're going to have another opportunity to make that play. Tell your kid right then and there to take a deep breath. And then these words right here, I believe in you. Now lock back in. That fires me up right there. That's the kind of stuff that gets me excited as a coach. We had this situation in the Super Bowl we were in the middle of November. We scored the touchdown to go up 6-0. Extra points are crucial in our league as we're a 9-year-old team. I've talked about this on previous episode. If you haven't checked them out, episode 1 through 6 is available. Go back and check those out. Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, everywhere. Had to throw that in real quick. But we had the situation, right? And we scored the touchdown. We missed the extra point. Oh my gosh. It's critical because at 9 years old, there are pretty good kickers in the league, right? They can make their extra point. Our league, when you kick the extra point, it counts for 2 points. So 6-0 lead versus 8-0 lead, with the team having a ball with 1 minute and 50 seconds or 2 minutes left, I don't know exactly what was left, was important, right? Our kicker did something I've never seen him do before. He missed the extra point, went down to the ground, put his hands in his head, in his, like this, was very frustrated, clearly frustrated. This kid is also our starting defensive end. And so I didn't even let this kid make it to the numbers of the field. I was out there. I was in his face quickly. And what do you think I told him? Think I yelled at him? Think I shamed him? No, I looked him square in the face and I'm like, let it go. And these are the exact words I said. I said, if you let that play stick in your mind, you're going to miss an opportunity to make a play on defense. I said, them getting down there scoring and having a chance to kick the extra point to win the game won't even matter if you make a play on defense. Next play mentality. And I think you know how the story goes. I told you in the past we won the Super Bowl. But I don't know if I told you that this kid made one of the biggest plays. So they ran a play on first down. It was an incomplete pass. Second down, they rolled out to pass. And the defensive end sacked him, put him behind the chains for a third down. And it was right then and there. They got one first down on that drive. And then they didn't get another first down, didn't get past midfield. We stopped them on 4th and 15 or whatever it was. But it was right then and there. It was that kid knew that, hey, you missed this play, but that play is not even going to matter in the grand scheme of things when we look back on this Super Bowl. And so I think that's the big thing too is, hey, I believe in you. Now lock back in, go make that play. That conversation versus the yelling and the belittling, you just taught your kid something. You just taught that kid you coach something, right? You just taught him how to breathe in a situation where it's chaotic. That kid thought he had failed. That kid has thought that, oh my gosh, my team could lose the game for me. You taught that kid how to take that deep breath and lock in, right? How to reset. Hey, you missed an extra point. It's okay. You dropped the touchdown pass. It's okay. Go get the next one. But then this is the biggest one right here is you've taught that kid how to stay in the fight. You can either quit or you can lock in. You can either quit or you can go make a play in another situation, on offense, on defense, whatever it may be. You have that opportunity to still impact the game. Now go do it. That right there, that's mental toughness. That's what we need to be teaching our kids. That's what we need to feel as coaches. That's what we need to feel as dads and parents. Hey, we may fail, right? How many times as an adult do you go through a situation and you're like, dang, I didn't handle that right. Or dang, I'm failing at this. Or you get so excited to do something for your kids just to be met with them not being happy. And then you take it personally and you kind of you feel bad about the situation. But at the end of the day, man, you just got to keep fighting. You just got to keep trying. Hey, man, it was a hard day. I know everybody's on Christmas break, right? And you're home with the kids and we may be having some tough days, some tough conversations and just being overwhelmed and everything that's happened. But at the end of the day, you got to find some sliver of good. There's something good that happens every single day. And you got to lock in, you got to believe in yourself, and you got to just keep going. It's important. It's critical. You got to do it, right? So this is kind of something here is kind of, we can call this the mental toughness training plan. How can we grow? How can we develop? And I think one of these things, kind of something we can just train on a day-to-day basis, is normalizing hard. Hey, this is hard. I get it. But hard doesn't mean impossible. Whether it's a task at school, whether it's schoolwork, whether you're learning a new assignment on a football field or a new drill on a basketball court. Hey, this is hard. I understand it's hard, but it doesn't mean it's impossible. You got to understand those situations. Hey, we go through hard, but we don't quit. Teach the reset. This is a good one. After mistakes, this is something simple you can do. Next play. Or hey, reset, new rep. Let's go again. All those things can happen, right? Hey, it's okay. Simple. Hey, let's next play. Next play mentality. That's my favorite thing. Next play. It's over. Next play, move on, move on. You know, verbalize this. Make this consistent. Make sure your kids hear it every single time. Next play. Hey, at home, your kids aren't doing things right. Hey, it's all good. Reset. We got this. We can do this. And I think this one's a good one too, is that us as adults, we model calm under stress. So no matter how stressful a situation is, if we remain calm, I believe our kids follow suit. I believe our kids will roll in line with us when they're like, well, dad's calm, I'm going to be calm. Mom's calm, I'm going to be calm. But if you lose it every time something goes wrong, then your kids learn panic. Oh no, dad's losing it. Something's not right. And then your kids panic, right? Have you ever been around someone that is super calm, just super chill at all times? That's contagious. Man, it makes you feel good. Like, man, that dude is just calm under pressure. Nothing bugs him. It's contagious, I promise you, right? And then also this one, celebrate the bounce backs, right? But we don't just praise big wins around here. We praise moments. Hey, you didn't do good in this situation, but you dusted yourself off and you tried again, and look what you accomplished. The effort was there. Attitude, effort, energy. Praise. Proud of you. You got this. Hey, I'm proud you went right back at it after that miss. That's toughness. Hey, I'm proud you went right back in there and you caught that touchdown pass after on the previous drive you dropped it. That's mental toughness. And you know what? That also, we believe in you. We're going to come right back to you because we believe in you. Hey, son, I'm going to keep staying on you to clean your room, to be respectful to your mother, to be respectful to anybody you encounter. Why? Because I believe in you. You see the theme here? We talk sports, but I guarantee that you can just listen to this and just get lost in the moments of, right, whether it's a sporting event, whether it's being a parent, right? You can think of every single situation. And you can apply these to every situation. And that's just my biggest thing is we live in a world where, I don't know, it's tough. I just want my kids to know that they can handle situations. I want my kids to be tough. I want my kids to be nice. I want my kids to be leaders. And that's the same way with the kids I coach. Like, man, I'm proud of you. I know life isn't easy, right? But again, we're going to normalize tough things or hard things. And just believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, I do. And if I can get you to feel about yourself the way I feel about you, my goodness, we can accomplish a lot. And I think as we just kind of close this up, you're not raising a kid who never feels fear. If you as an adult have fears, so do kids. And that's okay. You're raising a kid who knows what to do with it, right? It's okay to have fear, but how do we do it? How do we handle the things we fear? You know, you're not raising a kid who never fails. You're raising a kid who knows how to get back up. That's what this world needs. That's what your son needs. That's what your daughter needs. That's what your spouse needs. They need us to be leaders in those situations, right? Where we're helping our kids and helping them be who they need to be. But that's what your son needs. That's what your daughter needs. And you get to help them build that one hard moment at a time.
The fourth quarter fades, the stadium clears, but the job of a dad lasts for all of the years. We studied the tape, yeah, we learned the design. Now take it to your home and lead from the line. No flags on the play, keep your vision alive. Fatherhood and football, that's how we survive.
That's the final buzzer for today. I appreciate you stepping into the huddle with me. If this episode gave you a new play to run at home or on the field, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button and leave a review. It keeps the lights on. Remember, the game doesn't stop when you leave the field. Go be a champion for your family. I'm Coach Mac. Lead loud and lead proud.
Take it to your home and lead from the line. No flags on the play, keep your vision alive. Fatherhood and football, that's how we survive. That's how we survive. That's how we survive.